Hello all and welcome to this hands-on lab. In our lab today, we will learn how to host multiple websites with different elastic IP addresses on a single Linux EC2 instance. Before we proceed further ahead, a couple of things to keep in mind. Using AWS services leveraged in this lab can incur charges. Hence, ensure that you clean up all resources after completing this lab. Reference articles. I have put it two links over here, okay, and I would definitely recommend that you review through these links before proceeding further ahead. We will be leveraging some of the content and some of the steps that are mentioned in these articles for this lab as well. In fact, I have one of these articles open right here. And this article is how do I configure a secondary private IP address for my Amazon EC2 instance. This article talks about both Windows Server and Amazon Linux. Refer to the steps for Amazon Linux. There is another link in this article that talks about configuring the operating system on your instance to recognize the secondary private IP address. If you click on that, it will basically take you to the second link on the PowerPoint, right? So refer to this piece of information right here, right? And we will be leveraging some of these commands, especially this one, or even restarting the network service in our lab. The name of this article is multiple IP addresses. So whenever you have time, refer to these articles. Okay. Let us continue further ahead. Scenario for our lab today. You have an existing Linux EC2 instance with one private IP and one public IP associated to it. You need to host multiple, that is two or more, websites with different elastic IP addresses on this EC2 instance. Now to achieve this, right, you need to first associate one additional private IP address to your EC2 instance. So this is the first step. After you have done this, the next thing that you need to do is you need to provision one elastic IP address for each site. So as we said, the intention is to host multiple sites, right? So two or more. So in this lab, I will be hosting two websites, right? You can host more number of websites as well, and the steps are same, right? So it's two or more. And for each website that you are planning to host on your EC2 instance, you need to provision one elastic IP address. So one elastic IP address for each site. So if you have two websites, then you need to provision two elastic IP addresses. After you've provisioned your elastic IP addresses, you need to associate these new elastic IP address or addresses to your EC2 instance. And the way these addresses should be associated with your EC2 instance, that should be that they replace the current public IP address. Finally, you need to go ahead and host your websites, associate each site with its own elastic IP address, right? So remember, the intention at the end is that if you have two websites, each of them have their own elastic IP address, and you can pretty much use that elastic IP address to browse that site. And both of these sites are on the same Linux EC2 instance. And finally, we will go ahead and browse these sites with their own elastic IP address. Prerequisite is the knowledge of public IP and elastic IP. If you do not know what is a public IP or what is an elastic IP, please refer to this tutorial. The URL is right here. Okay. Pre-prep. You need to go ahead and launch one EC2 Linux instance. Now this could very well be a typical T2 micro instance. If you have been viewing most of my videos, I just go ahead and provision one T2 micro instance. And this T2 micro instance should be provisioned with an IP address. So you should have one public IP address. So one public IP and one private IP address. And you can pretty much launch it in your default VPC or any other VPC you may have, right? After that, you need to create and associate a security group. Now, if you already have a security group, it's fine. Ensure that whatever security group you associate with your EC2 instance has ports 80 and 22 open. Finally, go ahead and SSH to your EC2 instance and log in using EC2-user. Along with provisioning and launching this EC2 instance, you also need to create some sample HTML text. We will be leveraging this HTML text to host our websites. Okay, so let's get started. So let me switch over here and let me close some of these articles. So this is my EC2 instance. So let me just go through the pre-prep. So I've launched this EC2 instance. It's a T2 micro instance, as you see right here. It has a public IP. This is the public IP. This is the private IP address, right? And we have ports 80 and 22 enabled on this. I have already SSH'd into this EC2 instance using EC2-user, correct? So I've completed those steps and I have also created a sample HTML. Okay, so let's continue further ahead. The first thing that we need to do is we need to associate one private IP and two elastic IP addresses with our EC2 instance. Okay, so let's associate first a private IP address. So what we will need to do is we will need to provision and basically associate it. So go to select your EC2 instance, go to actions, go to networking, go to manage IP addresses. Over here, this is the current private IP address. What we need to do is we need to assign a new private IP address. So click on assign new IP address and we will actually give a custom IP address. So 31.18.140, I don't know, I'll give 141. Okay, so this is a second IP address that we are associating. And click on save and then confirm. So if you switch to networking, you should be able to see both the IP addresses. Okay, let me just refresh this and select the EC2 again. So this is the original IP address, right? So let me make a note of it right here. So this is the first IP address. And then we gave another IP address, right? Over here that ends with 141. So we have these two private IP addresses that are associated with our EC2 instance. So we have basically completed this step. Now, if you remember, I had shared these reference links with you. And these reference links essentially talk about what are the various changes that you need to perform at an OS level or some configurations that you need to do to ensure that the second private IP address that you have provisioned is recognized by the OS on your EC2 instance. Okay, so what we will do is first we will see if it is recognized or not. So let us go here and let me switch to the root user. And then I'm going to run this particular command, right? IP addr li. And this will tell us what are the various private IP addresses that are associated with this EC2 instance. So let's see. So right now we have only 146. So this is the IP address that is associated. That means the second private IP address that we provisioned is currently not recognized by our EC2 instance. And in order for it to do that, we will have to restart the network service. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to clear this and say sudo service network restart. So it's restarting the network service. It's restarted now. Let me clear this. And I'm going to run this very same command again. So let's see now what IP addresses are associated with this EC2 instance. So this is 46 and this is 41, the second one that we gave. So now both the IP addresses are associated with this EC2 instance. So if anybody asks you like, hey, what private IP is associated with this EC2 instance, you basically have two IP addresses, two private IPs that are associated with this EC2 instance. Okay, so we have completed these steps. The next thing that we need to do is we need to provision two elastic IP addresses. So the reason why I'm provisioning two elastic IP addresses is because I intend to host two websites on this EC2 instance. Remember, we have to host two or more websites, right? Multiple websites, so it's two or more. So let's go ahead and provision these. And after we provision them, we will associate both the elastic IP addresses to our EC2 instance. So let's go back over here, scroll down, go to elastic IPs, click on associate elastic IP address. We are fine with this particular region. We are fine with Amazon's pool. Click on allocate. So we have the first IP address allocated to us. Click on allocate again. And again, we are fine with this region. Amazon pool is fine, and allocate. So we have a total of two elastic IP addresses allocated or provisioned to us. The next thing that we need to do is we need to associate these elastic IP addresses to our EC2 instance, right? So let us select the first one, which ends with .31. Go to Actions, say Associate Elastic IP Address. Select your EC2 instance right there. And then select the private IP address that you want this elastic IP address to associate with. So I'm going to choose 41. Okay. And let me make a note of this. So basically, 41 is associated with this elastic IP address, and click on associate. So one of our elastic IP addresses is associated with our EC2 instance. Now let's associate the second one. So it's the same set of steps. Go to Actions, Associate. Again, choose your instance. Choose the second private IP address. This is a private IP address ending with 146. And we will basically associate this elastic IP ending with 249 with this particular private IP address. And then go ahead and click on associate. So both our elastic addresses are now associated with our EC2 instance. So these elastic IPs are associated to the very same EC2 instance. So we have completed these steps. The next thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and install HTTPD and create two websites. So we will switch to root. I believe we've already done that. And then we will install, enable, and start HTTPD. So go back. Okay, so now if I type anything, you see, I'm trying to type, but nothing is being typed. And why is this thing happening? This is happening because remember we just associated elastic IP addresses, actually two elastic IP addresses to our EC2 instance. And if you go back, our intention over here, let me just clear off some of this ink, was to ensure that the way these elastic IP addresses associate or attached to our EC2 instance should be such that it replaces the current public IP address. That means the public IP address that I had leveraged to SSH into this EC2 instance is no longer valid. It has been replaced by an elastic IP address. And that's why you see that this error is coming. And if you go back over here and you go to your EC2 dashboard instances, and if you select your instance, you will see over here in the details, especially, that you have two elastic IP addresses, right? 31 and 249, and one of them is associated as the public IP address. So basically, your original public IP that you leverage to SSH into your EC2 instance has been replaced by an elastic IP address. So now go ahead and copy either of these elastic IP addresses. So let me just copy the first one. Now, this is no longer valid. Go back to your putty and put the elastic IP right there. I'm just going to change the font. And then we will SSH into this instance again. Open. Okay, so and then EC2 hyphen user. And we are logged in. So now we can continue with our steps. So we need to switch to root. So let's do that. So let's switch to root. So sudo su. And then we need to install, enable, and start HTTPD. So let's do that. So we're going to say yum install HTTPD. Yes. And HTTPD is installed successfully. The next thing that we need to do is we need to enable it. So the command for that is sudo systemctl enable HTTPD. And then you need to start it. And to start it, just replace enable with start. And our system, our HTTPD service has started successfully. So we have completed these steps, but we need to still test whether the service has truly started, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to leverage one of these elastic IP addresses, go to our browser, paste it right there. And if HTTPD is up and running, you can see the test page. And we can actually see the test page, right? So we can now continue further ahead. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create two websites, right? Because remember, our intention is to host multiple websites, that is two or more. In order to do that, what we will do is we will create a folder name website1 on this path, right? So we will switch to this particular path and then create this folder. And in this folder, then we will create index.html, wherein we will paste our sample HTML text. And we will repeat the same set of steps for website 2. Now, if you're having more than 2 websites, it's the same set of steps, right? Okay, so let's go back. But before we go, I want to showcase something to you over here. Like if you see the patch that we were talking about, it is also mentioned on the test page that now you may add additional content to this particular directory, which is /where/www/html. And that's where we are going to create our websites, right? Okay, so let us do that. So let's clear and then say cd/where/www/html. Okay, and over here we have to create this a folder or a directory named website1. So we are going to say mkdir website1, and then we will switch to this particular directory. Over here, we will create index.html. Now remember that this is acting as our application. So hit enter And I'm going to copy my sample HTML text right here. And I think we are good. Let's go ahead and save this file. So :WQ. And we have basically created our first website. So let's test it, right? So go back here, /website 1/index.html. And this is our website 1 right here. Similarly, we will create website 2. So let's get out of this directory. And then over here, we will create website 2. And again, we will switch to website 2. And here we will create index.html. Again, we will copy our sample text and insert it right there. But here we will need to change this 1 to 2, right? Because this is website 2. Okay, now let's save these changes. Okay, so we have successfully created website 2 and let's test it. So just go ahead and replace this 1 to 2 in your browser, and then you should be able to see website 2. So we have completed these steps. That means we have created the 2 websites, and we've also, of course, installed HTTPD. Okay, what is the next thing that we need to do? We need to update this file called as httpdconf for website 1. This file is found at this path /etc/httpd/conf. And what we need to do is we will go ahead and edit this particular file, right? So we will either edit it using Nano or Vim. I would basically recommend Nano for editing this particular file, and you will see why. It's because of the color contrast, and the file is far more, you know, easy to edit because it's far more legible and readable compared to Vim. When I use Vim, the colors are not the best for some reason. Anyways, the font colors is fine. And once we go ahead and open this particular file, right, we need to add this piece of text to that file. So this is, if you see, this is a virtual host directive or tag, and we have all the information right here. But what we need to do is we need to replace this IP address with one of our IP addresses. Okay, and we will basically leverage one of our private IP addresses. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this change. And this change is absolutely critical. Please ensure that while you're adding or typing or copying this piece of text, you are not adding any, funky characters or, uh, any spaces or anything of that sort, right? This file is super sensitive. And if you have anything, like special characters or anything going in, then simply the HTTPD service will, give you a lot of pain while stopping. And of course, it will not start. Okay, so ensure that you copy this correctly. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to HTTPD. So I'm going to come out of this directory and go all the way to root, and then go to /etc/httpd/conf. Okay, so we are in the right directory. And how do we know that? So let's go ls-l. And if you see, you will httpd.conf file is right there. This is the file that we need to edit. So let's clear and say nano httpd.conf. Okay, so this is our file. And let's scroll down, go down, go down. And this is the server root right there. It is listening to port 80. Of course, if you want to change the port, you can, but right now it's listening to port 80, as you see. And then what we are looking for is that virtual host tag or directive, right? So scroll down further, and there it is. So right here, you see this virtual host? containers or directive or tag, whatever you want to call it. And this is where we will add our virtual host tag, right? So let me go and copy this piece of information that I had typed out. So let me just copy this, and I want to ensure that there are absolutely no funky characters. So I need to paste it in Notepad, right? So let's paste it right here. I want to ensure that it is correct. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to replace this IP address. So this is website one. Okay, and for website one, I'm going to take this set of IP addresses that end with one, right? And what we will copy over here is our private IP address. So that is this. So I'm going to copy this and paste it right here and also here. So if you see, we have this one location and this is the second location. And essentially what we are saying is that this website one that we created, remember we created this website one at this particular path, this is now associated with this private IP address, which in turn is associated with this elastic IP address. So website one is associated with this private IP address, which in turn is associated with this elastic IP address. So it's like A is to B and B is to C. That means website one is now associated with this elastic IP address. So I hope that this is clear. Okay. Okay, let's copy this and let's go back and paste it right there. And I hope that I did not copy any funky characters or spaces or anything of that sort. Does not look like. Okay. So we completed these steps. We need to do the same set of steps for our website too, right? So again, go back, copy this, paste it. No, not from here. Let me take it from here where I've already made the changes. So let me just copy this for website 2, paste it right here, right? This is website 2. Want to ensure that there is nothing crazy going on. And now we will copy the other address, right? This private IP address for website 2. Okay, so let's paste this right here. Paste this address and paste this address right here. So this means that we are associating website 2, right, with this particular private IP address ending with 146, which in turn is associated with this elastic IP address ending with 249. So again, A is to B is to C. That essentially tells us that website 2 is associated with elastic IP address ending with .249. Okay, so let's copy this. Okay, let's go back and paste it right here below website 1. Okay, so I hope that I copied it correctly. We don't have any funky characters, any spaces, nothing like that. Okay, I think we are good. Okay, so now Control X, exit, say yes, so Y, and yes, write to this particular file. So we have completed these steps for website 2. The next thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and browse these sites with their respective elastic IP addresses. So let's try and do that. But before we do that, we will stop and start the HTTPD service. So let's do that. Let's see if I still have any of those commands. So I do have that. So I'm going to say sudo systemctl stop HTTPD. Now this step is actually extremely critical. Okay. If you have any funky characters or anything crazy going on in your httpd.com file, then this particular service will not stop smoothly. And that is an indication that there's something funky going on with your configuration file. And you need to go back and check for any special characters or spaces or anything of that sort. So the key is to ensure that this particular service stops as well as starts smoothly. It should not take a lot of time. It should just go ahead and do your job. And especially, of course, no errors. You shouldn't get into a waiting mode for it to stop forever or anything of that sort. Okay, so it's a good indication that your changes are really well and they are basically accepted by HTTPD. So let's go ahead and hit enter. So our service stopped smoothly. Okay, now let us go ahead and start it. Hopefully it starts smoothly as well. And it did. So we are good. So now it is time to browse both these sites leveraging its elastic IP address. So let's go back, right? Where is here? Right here. So let me remove this. So remember that we had website 1 associated with this elastic IP address. So let's copy it. Let's go back to our browser. Now, if you see earlier, we were using this, the elastic IP, and then we had to give the website name and then index.html. None of that should be needed anymore. So I'm opening another browser incognito. And if I copy this particular elastic IP address, which was associated, if you remember, with website 1, right? Then it should show up. That's website 1. No index.html, no nothing. The website actually just shows up. This is your landing page, right? And similarly, if we have this elastic IP address that is associated with website 2, if we take that, open another tab, paste it right there, this should basically load website 2. So this is website 2. So again, we don't have to give any additional information. It's going straight to the landing page, which is index.html. And you can now pretty much browse 2 websites, okay, that are hosted on the same Linux EC2 instance and have their own individual private IP as well as elastic IP address associated to them. Okay, so now each one of these websites has their own elastic IP addresses. So if you want to give this elastic IP address to someone, let's say if I give this elastic IP address to you right now, assuming that you're my client, they will be able to browse this particular site easily. So guys, this is how you go about hosting multiple websites on the same instance with different elastic IP addresses. And this is actually a very practical scenario. Do practice this hands-on lab, right? Like it's a possibility that you want to host multiple websites on the same EC2 instance. And this is how you'd go about doing it, especially if they are small websites and you're not expecting a lot of traffic and you have to host either internal facing or probably external facing websites for which you will need an elastic IP address. This is how you go about doing it. So I hope that this hands-on lab was helpful. Do post your feedback and I will see you shortly in some other video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.